As of August 21st, there's been some major updates to the CARES Act that will directly impact you if you have federal student loans, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So first, let's flash back to the beginning of the year around March. So I have some notes here just so that I don't forget anything and make sure I'm giving you all accurate information. So on March 27th, Congress created the CARES Act, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, and it allowed three new things. So it suspended payments, stopped collections on defaulted loans, and 0% interest on federal student loans. And we're going to talk about what all of those mean in a few minutes. So the CARES Act was passed by Congress on March 27th, and it was retroactive through March 13th of 2020. And it was supposed to end September 30th of this year. But on August 8th, Trump gave an executive order to continue these changes throughout the rest of the year, so through December 31st of 2020. And then on August 21st, 2020, the Secretary of Education directed the federal student aid to extend the student loan relief, so it is now official. So before, Trump just gave an executive order, but I don't think that actually meant anything until yesterday. Today's the 22nd. So yesterday, August 21st, when the Secretary of Education actually directed the federal student aid to make it real. So it is official. Now all the changes are through the end of the year. And I actually checked my student loan provider this morning, and I went to their website, and it said on the top of the website that it is through December 31st. So it seems like this is actually happening, people. So those three changes, they are going to carry through December 31st. But let's break down each of those things just to make sure that we're all aware of what that actually means. So first, suspended payments. You don't have to pay anything. Nothing at all, period. So through December 31st, you can pay $0 and nothing will happen to you. And, there's millions of people who are unemployed right now, and every single dollar matters to those people. So it's just a huge weight that's being lifted from their shoulders, at least for the time being. And they can use that money to, survive. So rent, food, utilities, things like that. Even though, if you ask me, I feel like rent should be canceled as well, but I'm not a politician. I don't make the laws, so whatever. However, if you are one of the lucky people who haven't been financially impacted by the pandemic, I suggest to still keep making payments. We currently have a huge advantage to make as much progress as we can on our student loans since they're not being charged interest right now. And I'm still making payments, but do what makes sense for you and your situation. If you don't have any money in savings, then, definitely create a savings fund or an emergency fund, because layoffs are still happening, and, you can have a job today, but you may not have a job tomorrow. So, it's definitely prepare for the future if you don't actually have an emergency fund right now. The second big change is stopping collections on defaulted loans. So if you have a loan that has been defaulted, that means that you stopped making payments or you weren't able to make payments. But the government will get their money one way or another. So when you are defaulted, that means the government is going to garnish your wages. And by garnish your wages, I mean the government will take money out of your check before your check even hits your bank account. But if you are defaulted on a student loan up through December 31st, they can't garnish your wages. And if they do, for some reason, still garnish your wages, they're not supposed to, so they have to give you a refund. And last, but certainly not least, for me, this is the one that most impacts me personally, is 0% interest. If you saw my video where I paid off my car, I had a $18,000 car loan and I paid it off in a year. In that video, I talked about how important the difference is between principal and interest. And the biggest reason why people don't really see any progress on paying off their loans, even though they're making regular payments, is because interest. For a lot of loans, the interest accrues daily. So it's a very quick way to turn a $20,000 student loan into a $35,000 student loan, all because of the interest. Because every day the interest is added onto your original balance, aka principal. But from March 13th of this year, 2020, through December 31st of this year, they can't charge any interest on any of the federal student loans. And this is good for people who can't make payments right now because at least they're not getting even further into debt. But it's actually phenomenal for people who can make payments right now. With no interest being charged, that means you can make huge amounts of progress on your loan and significantly reduce the amount of money that you would pay overall throughout the lifetime of the loan. Again, I don't know your financial situation. So if you need to save money, then do that. If you have other forms of debt that have really high interest, go ahead and concentrate on those. But if you can afford to throw money at your student loans right now, then do that. You will save so much money in the long run. So I have links to the Department of Education, their website, as well as the student aid website. That's all going to be in the description box below, and it has lots of information and can answer other questions that you may have. And I really hope this was helpful, guys, and thank you for watching.